On the Fritz with Mr. Fitz, and today we're going to be looking at graphing two variable inequalities, and in particular we want to look at the shading. So when we're doing this less than, greater than, we know that we're going to do a half plane, but we need to determine are we shading above the line or below it. So this week we're really just getting a lot more efficient with making that choice. So I see y is less than or equal to 3x minus 1. Y is by itself on the left, so I know I can make my decision. In my mind, I'm thinking less than is going to be below, but I have to actually see where I'm doing this graph first. So if I start at -1, this is where I want to start my graph. From there, I want to go up 3, right 1, and that's where I'm going to put my second point. But let's just have the computer graph it so we can look at the result. And there it is, autographed for us. Notice, just as we anticipated, it started at -1, went up 3 and right 1, and that's how they got their next point. That point's shown on the graph now as this blue dot. And they've automatically made it a dark line, and they've shaded underneath. Now, it's a solid line because it could be equal to. It's shaded underneath because it's less. So we can see in this example, we wanted to shade the bottom part. The bottom half plane should be the one that's shaded. Now, if I turn that off and I look at the next one, this next one says greater than. So now I'm thinking the opposite. Because it's greater than, I'm thinking of higher numbers. So I'm going to think of going up. So let's start at 3. Let's go up 1 and right 2. So we start at 3, and then we're going to and then we're going to go up 1 and right 2. So we can see on that nice graph they made, they shaded above the line because it was greater than. Oh, zoomed on you. I do have to get more careful with my touchpad, I guess. They went up 1 over 2. They started at +3 on the y-axis. They shaded above because it was greater than. Again, when we're applying that slope idea, I didn't have to go up and to the right. I could have gone down and to the left because that's going to put me on the same line. So just remember that when you're graphing. If you're ever out of space on a graph, you can choose to go down and to the left instead of up and to the right. Those are both the same thing. Now, if I go over to something that looks like this, y is less than -2/3 x plus 1, just in your own mind before I go, think of where that's going to be on this graph. Move it down so you can see better. Where is y is less than -2/3 x plus 1 going to end up? All right, hopefully you're seeing it in your mind. And then less than, thinking that we want to be under the line, and we do. So it started at +1. That was the number at the end. We went down 2, right 3, down 2, right 3. Great. It's dashed because it can't be equal to. It has to be below this line, and less is under. We think of going down when it's less. So, final thing. What if I give you just a single variable? So this says y is greater than or equal to -1. Well, now I know that it's going to be either a horizontal line or a vertical line. Since I told you the value that's on the y-axis, that's why this one is a horizontal line. It's going through -1 on the y-axis. No matter what x is, y is always -1 when I'm on this line. And they shaded above. They shaded above because I was looking greater than. So I know that as I go up, those numbers are greater. So now we can see from all of our examples exactly what to do, whether you're shading above or below. Both of the ones that were greater than were shaded above. So greater than or equal to, I shaded above. When I was up here at greater than, I shaded above. So whatever point I started with, you go up, and that's the shaded section. On the other two examples, I had a less than symbol. So if I look at the one that was less than here, it's solid because it could be equal, but take any point and go down. There's your shading. Less than over here, I take that point and I go down. That's the shaded section. So I can tell which side I'm going to shade based on the inequality. Less than, I'm shading down. Greater than, I'm shading up. As a failsafe, you can always check the point 0, 0. So if I were to replace x and y with 0 in this, I would have 0 is less than 1. 0 is less than 1. So that's why I shaded the part that had 0, 0 in it. I hope this has been helpful, and good luck with your assignment.